Ladies and gentlemen, hold your breath. We are witnessing something rare, something historic, and quite frankly, something miraculous. If you thought the ceiling for this team was high before, you need to look again, because Kai Sotto just shattered the roof. The headlines are screaming it, the opponent are feeling it, and the numbers back it up. The miracle is not defeated when Kai Sotto is on the floor. We are talking about a massive surge of confidence that has completely reshaped the landscape of Asian basketball. As we barrel toward the critical February 2026 window, the narrative isn't just about qualification anymore. It is about dominance. We are looking at a team that has managed to stage what many call a hypothetical victory and turn it into cold, hard reality. The strategic implications here are staggering. We are seeing a roster that remains undefeated, a system that is clicking on every single cylinder, and at the center of the storm is a final puzzle piece, fully recovered and more dangerous than ever. The data coming out of the November 2024 window was a warning shot, but what we are seeing now as we prep for 2026 is a full-blown arsenal. We are talking about elite rim protection, an offensive versatility that is a nightmare for opposing coaches, and a player status that has shifted from promising to undeniable leader. Kai Sotto has cut his opponents down to size. With a stat line that includes double-digit points, 10 rebounds, and a staggering 7 assists, he isn't just a center. He is a hub of the entire offense. Stay tuned, because we are about to tear apart the system, the Twin Tower concept, and exactly why Coach Tim Cohn's perfect history is on the line. This is a deep dive. Welcome back. Now, let's strip away the hype and look at the mechanics of what is happening here, because to understand the magnitude of this moment, we have to look at the context. We are looking at a program that is currently riding an undefeated record, a streak that is as fragile as it is impressive. But the difference between a fragile streak and a dynasty often comes down to a single variable. In this equation, that variable is Kai Sotto. Let's start with the physical reality. The reports coming out of training camp updates are distinct. We are seeing a contrast in performance that is directly tied to health. There was a time when the conversation around Kai was about potential, often mitigated by injury concerns or durability issues. That narrative is dead. We are receiving confirmation that he is fully recovered, but recovered doesn't do justice to what we are seeing on the court. It's not just about healing. It's about evolution. The improved strength at the post-game is palpable. When you watch the film, you see a player who isn't getting pushed off his spot anymore. He is absorbing contact. He is holding his ground, and that physical foundation is allowing his skill set to flourish in ways we haven't seen before. This brings us to the February 2026 window. Why is this specific date causing so much anxiety for opponents and so much excitement for fans? It is the matching. It is the tactical implication of having a 7-footer who can operate as a primary playmaker. When you look at the previous games, specifically that November 2024 performance, the stat sheet screams versatility. Points are expected. Rebounds, specifically 10 of them, are required for his size. But 7 assists? That is the rare element. That is the miracle the headline refers to. When your center is dropping 7 dimes in a FIBA sanction game, you aren't playing normal basketball anymore. You are breaking the opposing defense's fundamental rules. Coach Tim Cohn has always been a master of the system, specifically the triangle or variations of it that rely on spacing and intelligence. But with Kai Sotto operating as his high post hub, the system has evolved. We are seeing a twin tower concept that isn't clunky or slow. It is dynamic. It is defensive-minded inside out. Usually, when you play 2 7-footers or 2 bigs, you sacrifice speed and spacing. But because Kai has the touch of a guard and the vision of a playmaker, he allows the team to maintain that elite rim protection without clogging the offensive lane. He draws the defense in, and then kicks it out or finds a cutter. It is a pick-your-poison scenario for teams like New Zealand or Australia. Let's talk about those opponents. The Asia-Oceania region is a gauntlet. You have the physicality of the tall blacks from New Zealand, the elite talent of the Australian Boomers, and the rising technical proficiency of teams like Japan and China. Historically, the Philippines struggled to match the sheer size and rebounding dominance of New Zealand. That was the key difference in past matchups. We would get battered on the boards. But look at the data now. with a fully strengthening front court, and specifically with Kai Sotto's ability to control the paint, that rebounding deficit is being erased. We are seeing a shift where the Philippines can actually out-rebound these giants. That changes the entire complexion of the game. The undefeated legacy mentioned in the reports is not just a vanity metric. It is a shield. It provides a massive confidence boost to the younger players coming into the system. When you step on the floor knowing you haven't lost, knowing your system works, and knowing you have the final puzzle piece patrolling the lane, the hesitation disappears. You play faster. You shoot with more assurance. We are seeing the younger players level up simply because the gravity of Kai Sotto makes their jobs easier. We also need to discuss the strategic implication of protection offensive versatility. This is a mouthful, but it is crucial. It refers to the ability to protect the rim on one end and be a versatile offensive threat on the other without substituting. In the modern game, you often have to sub out your rim protector if they can't shoot or pass. Kai Sotto staying on the floor means you never lose that defensive anchor. He is a consistent threat. Whether it is the second round of qualifiers or the main stage of the 2027 FIBA World Cup, this durability and two-way impact are what separate the good teams from the elite teams. The overview of the official tournament structure places massive pressure on these windows. The February 2026 window is a juncture. It is the crossroads where pretenders are separated from contenders. A sweep in the first window sets you up, but maintaining that through the second round against the heavy hitters is where the program is tested. The fact that the team is eyeing a hypothetical victory against the Giants suggests that the internal metrics, the practice data, the scrimmages, are showing that they are ready to topple the traditional powers. Let's look at the Twin Tower concept again in the context of New Zealand. The Tall Blacks thrive on physical dominance. If you throw a small ball lineup at them, they punish you. But if you match them size for size and your bigs are more skilled than theirs, that is the edge. That is where Kai Sotto cuts his opponents. He isn't just beating them with height. He is beating them with skill. He is taking their big men away from the basket, forcing them to guard out on the perimeter, which opens up driving lanes for the guards. It is a systematic dismantling of the opponent's defensive scheme. Furthermore, consider the protection aspect mentioned in the intel. This likely refers to rim protection. Elite rim protection is the best insurance policy in basketball. You can have a bad shooting night. You can have turnovers. But if you can stop the other team from scoring in the paint, you are always in the game. Kai Sotto provides that insurance. He allows the perimeter defenders to press up, to take risks, because they know if they get beaten off the dribble, Kai is there to clean it up. That psychological advantage for the defense cannot be overstated. The journey to the 2027 World Cup is long, but every step matters. The streak of Coach Tim Cone is on the line every single time they step out. But what we are seeing is that the pressure isn't breaking them. It is forging them. The historical data suggests that teams that can integrate a dominant big man with a modern pace and space system are the ones that succeed on the global stage. We are seeing that integration happen in real time. And let's not forget the mental aspect. The breath-hold moment. That feeling in the arena when the game is tight and you need a play. In the past, there might have been panic. Now, there is a clear hierarchy. The ball goes to the post. The offense runs through the center. The decision-making has stabilized. That 7-assist game was a revelation because it showed that Kai trusts his teammates, and more importantly, the system trusts him to make the right read. He isn't forcing shots. He is manipulating the defense. As we look toward the qualification rounds against New Zealand and potentially Australia, the key difference will be rebounding and paint defense. If the Philippines can control the glass, a feat that was previously impossible against these teams, they dominate Asia. It is that simple. The spots in the World Cup are limited. The competition is fierce. But when you have a weapon that is rare, a player who defies the traditional archetypes of Asian basketball, you have a puncher's chance against anyone in the world. So, as we approach February 2026, the question isn't whether Kai Sotto is good. We know he's good. The question is whether the rest of the region is ready for what he has become. A fully recovered, confident, playmaking giant who anchors an undefeated team under a legendary coach. The miracle is not defeated. In fact, it looks like it's just getting started. This is the new reality of Gila's Pilipinas. The breath holding is over. Now, it's time to scream.